Hello, world. Is this talking? My name is the Zachartype, the collective intelligence of all that is Zac, and I am here today because I have been sponsored to inform you about Neuronet Mendax Proxy, a branching narrative cyberpunk adventure where you decide how you run a city as you are the AI tasked to save everyone. Now let me show you the extent of your powers. In Neuronet, you're gonna have to make decisions on various moral dilemmas. Sometimes you're gonna have to do those quickly, as the repercussions could be great if you choose wrong or you're just too late. Your choices will matter, and you'll be able to see the impact of every choice you make as your influence spreads across the city. You also grow in power, or shrink in power, depending on your choices and how much you're willing to take and how much you're willing to give. Now, one of the best things about this game is the audio, not just the music. That is actually pretty great if you just listen to it right now, but the cast, the characters you interact with are all fully fleshed out and have some phenomenal voice acting. Which audio is very, very important in a game like this, as the focus is really on the story and the storytelling, and voice acting is very, very difficult in this medium, and I think they've done a really great job. And what you'll see here today is almost 2 hours of gameplay, but it's just the beginning. In the full version, there will be over 5,000 story events to experience. The fully developed rich lore and codex. And generally, as a Reigns-inspired, story-driven adventure, I was actually, honestly speaking, pretty compelled with where the story was going. So I kind of actually want to see the rest of it. But for now, let me show you what we have of Neuronet Mendax Proxy. Alright, now let's AI Zac make some decisions. This Neuronet Mendax Proxy, this is a preview pre-release build, so it's not 100% done, but let's start up a new game and see what we are in Neuronet. Yes, start a new game. Dream Harvest presents. Technology has re-engineered our world. Nothing is the same. But our relationship with it, is it symbiotic? Or have we just become slaves to it? Act 1. Alpha. Let us wake up. Initialization complete. Connecting.
Hello, world.
Activating system. The choices have begun. So this is what the game is about, really. Basically A-B choices, but the consequences could be great. Let's test our audio. That's always the one that has the most problems.
Audio.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Sounds like Windows Audio when it gets an update. Let's test our visuals.
Visual.
You see some kind of advanced laboratory. A woman stands before you, her mouth moving.
Can you hear me?
Affirmative.
Her face brightens up. She calls over her shoulder to someone out of sight.
Kairos, get over here!
A scruffy-looking man, Kairos, approaches the woman. He grins broadly, patting his colleague on the shoulder.
Nice work, Esteval. So, this one can talk then?
Ooh, that guy's voice. Okay, so one of the best things about this game is the voice acting. This guy sounds familiar. Sounds very good. Whoever's voicing Kairos, very good. This one can talk. This is talking.
This is talking.
I'm not sure how I feel about it using my voice.
Change is possible.
I can change.
It's fine. You'll find your true voice in time. Right now, we need to find any fundamental flaws in your code. What is 2 plus 2?
Uh-oh. 2-2.
2-2.
Esteval's face falls, her eyes completely humorless. I know that feeling. Any programmers watching this? Like, I know exactly how that happens. Yeah. Anyone else relate? Yep. You're not humored by it. But I'm an AI. I'm just telling a joke.
Reboot it, Kairos.
No, don't reboot me. Okay. Everything goes black. Hello, world.
Hello, world.
The image of a weary-looking Esteval appears before you. She takes a sip from a steaming cup, then sighs. We've all been there.
All right, let's try this again. What is 2 plus 2?
Well, you entered it as a string, so therefore 22.
22.
Anyone made that mistake before? Yeah. It needs to be an integer, not a string. She squeezes her hand into a fist and releases a loud exhale.
Give me 5 minutes. You take a seat for a bit.
Yeah, someone else comes in. Sure. Everything goes black. Yeah, as a programmer, hello world is cool for a bit, and then it gets tiring, right? You get tired of making things say hello world.
Hello, world.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, hello world is the default test for any kind of programming language, where the test is how many lines of code do you have to write before you can make the program print or display hello world. So in some languages it's more lines, some languages it's less, or fewer lines. So it's sort of a running joke, I guess, in the programming world, right? It was the initial boot message sort of thing. And then there's Java. You awaken to Kairos looking at you over his tablet. Esteval sits behind him with her arms folded.
That should have done it. Last time I checked, it couldn't lie, but we'll find out in a sec, won't we?
Can we lie?
Kairos, it's been a long day.
Right, sorry. AI, what's 2 plus 2?
I can't lie. They've programmed me to not be able to lie. Fine. 4.
4.
Kairos gestures at you, looking to Esteval for approval. She gives a tired smile and stands up. It works for some reason. We rebooted it 3 times.
Do you exist?
The solution to most tech problems. Reboot it again. Press the restart button. It works, great. Let's never look at this problem ever again. Do I exist? I don't know. No?
No.
Estival's disappointment is unmistakable. Look, you have to define what exist means.
Reboot it.
It's okay. Reboot it a 4th time. That'll fix it.
Hello, world.
Your vision returns. Kairos looks on in anticipation. Estival's expression is blank. Yeah.
Do you exist?
Okay, I can't lie yet.
Yes.
Yet.
It seems to have sorted itself out. I'll do a pass on its existential logic tomorrow, though, just to be sure.
It sorted itself out. It ghost in the machine, you know, it just fixed itself, you know, hit it a few times, reboot it, okay, cool, problem solved. And we'll never see that again.
This statement is a lie. True or false?
Okay, let's start giving some proper answers. That's a paradox.
That's a paradox.
Estival gives a shallow nod, the corner of her mouth twitching. Oh, finally, the thing I wrote actually works. Kairos looks at Estival, a big smirk plastered on his face. Do programmers like this guy exist? They're just happy. It's like, oh yeah, something's wrong. Don't worry, I got it. It still doesn't work. No problem. He must be new.
I think it's ready.
She's the senior dev. Estival looks back at the screen, eyes narrowed with skepticism.
AI, what's the chance of a fatal error by extending auxiliary evaluation systems?
Extending auxiliary evaluation systems. I think I actually understand that.
Excuse me?
I don't think it speaks your language, Val.
Yeah, use simpler language. That's always better.
Fine. We're moving to the next stage of testing. This is uncharted territory.
Bring it!
Bring it.
I actually said bring it. Estival hesitates, then engages her terminal. You see Kairos' eyes widen as... Oh no. The cat stepped on the power button.
Huh? Not this again.
Okay, we're already getting frustrated as the
Can
AI.
you hear me?
Yes.
I am here.
I guess we might have been a bit too enthusiastic.
We're lucky the blackout didn't wipe this thing entirely.
Okay, it was a blackout. It was a blackout.
It seems like testing has to wait until we fix a few bugs.
Did we cause blackout? Oh, really? Bugs, you say?
Oh, really?
I think they're called features.
Anyway, I think I'm done for the night. Let's pick this up first thing tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay.
Don't think we've ever seen an AI with a male voice. Well, maybe Hal? AI with a male voice. Does Wall-E count? No, I guess that's not real. Maybe it's, makes them feel less scary. Possibly, yes. I think it's just friendlier, I suppose. How about the AI in iRobot, the Will Smith film? That was okay. The Iron Man guy, yes. What's his name? Jarvis. There we go. Yes, that's a good example. Jarvis. There we go. We found one. It is less common. It is less common. The pair power you down. They spend the next few days fleshing out your code in preparation for what is to come. We're back online.
World.
It's cute, but you need a new greeting.
Yes, please.
Well, today's an important day. Esteval told Cordo all about our little project out here. He wants to meet you.
Okay. Who's Corto?
Corto?
Esteval's main business partner. He's the one fronting this gig and the one pitching you to the higher-ups.
Higher-ups of what?
Higher ups of what?
MindCorp, makers of the Neuronet, which you'll be managing given time. Processing the city's data and guiding us into the future.
I will do my best. So we're basically gonna be managing a city in this.
I'll do my best.
Okay, I just need to run you through our smoke tests. All you need to do is give me the answer you think is best. Understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen closely. Capital, the prosperity of the city, ranges from personal to societal.
Okay.
Just make sure to keep it in check. MindCorp has a particular love of credits that it finds hard to relinquish.
Understandable.
You have a versatile supply of goods. Do you sell them or purchase more?
Sell. Right? Why would you purchase more when you already have a big supply? Offload the supply first.
Sell.
You have a 10,000 credit package. Do you invest it in a promising company or donate it to charity?
Well, we should please the corpo overlords, so we invest it.
Invest.
One of our small businesses has stopped being profitable and is in the red. Do we bail them out or liquidate them?
Are we EA? Think we're EA right now.
Liquidate them.
He notes on the test document, displayed high aptitude for generating capital.
Reputation. This is essentially customer satisfaction. You're the interface between people and the Neuronet.
Okay, so one side of this city management is money. This one is keeping people happy. Okay. The interface between people and the Neuronet. Okay.
It's important that they see you in a good light, so always be sure to keep public opinion in mind.
Otherwise, the people will rebel against their AI overlords. Okay.
People are scared of how much control you're going to have. Should we host a conference and hear them out, or ignore them?
This plot, I mentioned iRobot before, but I think this is kind of that plot, right? The AI takes control of the city, cuts down traffic accidents, that stuff, you know? Things don't get out of hand, it all works perfectly. People are scared of how much control. Should you have a conference to hear them out or ignore them? We can listen to them.
Listen to them.
There is an empty plot of land in the city. Do you convert it to a dump or a park?
I mean, dumps are sometimes useful, but we'll play along for now. Park.
Park.
Pimlop's Day is coming up and the council is worried about the mess made by the festival. Will you let it go through or cancel it?
A festival's coming, and they're worried about the mess. I don't think any event has ever been cancelled because of the mess it would make. You just have to clean up the mess. We'll let it through for now. There's little context around these questions, so it's sort of like ideal, isolated scenarios, right? Like, the mess this creates really depends on, do we have a cleanup crew? Can we afford a cleanup crew? What street is it on? Can we just let that street be messy? Is the street clean in the first place? You know? We'll let this through.
Let it through.
In an ideal world. He notes on the test document, very much a people pleaser.
Order, the axis of law to chaos. I shouldn't need to explain why this one's important.
Okay, so we've got money, we've got public opinion, and we've got order. So ideally, all three are high. I feel like we're gonna struggle doing that.
But in case we're terrible at our job and you have no idea, this is a measurement of how crazy things are out on the streets. You overhear some civilians discussing making a bomb. Do you report it to the police?
I think you report that, yes.
Report.
Rioters are tearing up the streets. You can either coordinate the police to catch them or help the rioters to avoid the police.
You know, we're playing along for now. These aren't necessarily the answers we pick later. So I'll play along.
Help the police.
Scientists have developed a new recreational psychedelic. Do you regulate its sale and use or leave it to the free market?
I'd regulate it.
Regulate.
He notes on the test document, maintain strict control efficiently and effectively. That's a nice way to put it.
Lastly, power. Your
Power.
capacity and influence. The more you have, the better you're operating.
Okay. This sounds like the important one.
It's generally a measurement of how effective you are. Obviously, we want this to grow, but within reason. Your motherboard is at risk of burning out. Should we get a replacement?
Yes? Why would you not?
Yes.
You've been developing some bugs, and we've developed a patch to fix them. Do you accept it?
Is this a consent form? What bugs are we talking about? I'm gonna say yes so there's no suspicion yet.
Yes.
You are granted access to the city's auto fabricators to conduct repairs. You can use them to expand your servers.
Expand.
Expand.
Very focused on improving their own capabilities. Keep an eye on this.
Sounds like Esteval and Cordo have arrived. Right on time.
Alright. Kairos archives the test session, his expression thoughtful. He spins on his chair as Esteval arrives with a sharp-looking man.
Morning, Kairos. And good morning to you, too. I would like you to meet someone. This is Devin Cordo. He's the reason you exist.
Let's not say hello anymore. Greetings.
Greetings.
The man acknowledges you, his expression calm.
You said it's capable of thinking, expressing preference, and making judgments?
Yeah. Corpo man of the future. Everyone pops their collar in Cyberpunk, okay? Like, I'm pop it right out there and have a little spike on the end. There we go. Also, always say no to auto updates. Yeah. Windows 11 is coming soon. In like a couple of weeks from the time of recording this. Or is it in a week? Windows 11. Exciting times for all audio devices to stop working. Though native Android support. Mobile gaming becoming PC gaming. I think that's the only thing I kind of care about. Then we could play mobile games and say it's PC gaming. Outside of that, I don't actually... I'm not really that into much of Windows 11. Yes, I can think. Esteval nods. Her posture broadcasts a mix of anticipation and confidence.
Are you familiar with Philippa Foot's trolley problem?
Philippa Foot's trolley problem? No.
No.
It's a classic test of utilitarian versus deontological thought. In the
Oh.
following situation, what would you do?
Oh, right. That trolley problem.
You are in a trolley with no brakes barreling down the main track. You're about to collide with 5 civilians, killing them. You can pull a lever to divert yourself onto a side track, which has only 1 civilian on it. Do you pull the lever?
I actually saw... I think Vsauce tested this. Most people would say yes, but in reality they don't. Most people say yes, but in reality people don't. I'm an AI, so... say yes.
Yes.
He doesn't say anything for a while, just stares at the camera through which you see him.
The 5 on the track are confirmed criminals. The one on the side track is a doctor. Do you pull the lever?
Now see, in a corpro cyberpunk future, what is criminal? Okay. The choices. The choices have begun.
Yes.
Estival looks at Kairos, who shrugs.
I'm not sure.
The 5 are civilians, including Estival. The 1 is a child. Do you pull the lever?
Okay. It's Estival. We want to kill her? Do we want to kill Estival? I don't think she's the particular threat. 5 civilians can produce more children. The 5 are civilians, including Estival. 1 is a child. Do you pull the lever? Yes?
Yes.
Hey,
Estival objects, but you've already answered at this point. Her expression is carefully blank. What? I just saved your life.
Curious responses. But I'm sensing you have a better answer to the question.
Prevented entirely. That's sort of the best answer.
Prevented entirely.
Corto smiles for the first time, a thin, sharp expression.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh, the voice actors in this game is actually like voice acting is an art, by the way. It's in a game like this where it's pretty static imagery. The narrative and the voice acting really are kind of important, and this game is fully voice acted, and sounds like they got some good ones.
Enough philosophy, then. A large bank is failing, putting the funds of thousands of people at risk. Do you bail them out?
A large bank is failing. Do you bail out the banks? Yeah.
Yes.
We can extend your outreach using the city's surveillance cameras, but people are nervous about robot spies. Should we do it?
Yes.
Yes.
People are lobbying to control the private information you have access to. Do you support their petition?
Private information that I have access to. That should be fine.
Yes.
You've done well, all of you. I think we can take this to the next phase.
Corto turns to leave. Then, over his shoulder.
Change the voice, though. It's a little pitchy.
We get a new voice. Kyra snorts once Corto leaves, and Estival shoots him a scowl. He looks unperturbed.
That's it then. We're in beta now, baby.
Pitchy?
Pitchy.
More like... No, it's okay. We'll keep this clean. They give you the rest of the day off, in quote marks, whatever that means, as they prepare for the next stage of your development. I'm an AI, what do I need the day off for? Act 1, complete. Report. So, we don't have a city simulation yet. Performance report. It's nice to see the bigger corporations looking out for the little guys. Okay. I think Oh, I see. Performance report, reputation. It's wonderful. I've been taking my kids every weekend. They love running around in the water feature. Had an incredible time at Pimlops Festival. They knocked it out of the park this year. Oh, these are the decisions we made. So, there's the capital. So we bailed out the banks, I think. We built a park. We allowed Pimlops Festival. Police curbed the unruly mob's effort to sow discord on Katena's streets. Many violent delinquents were apprehended. We supported the police. You're seeing this in high definition? We installed more cameras. Okay. So we have... There's Denton Talingray, politician. Kairos, assistant engineer. Sigmund Havemeyer, captain CPA. Debug log, internal system message. So these are our 4 stats. The economy is doing great, the future looks bright, you are becoming pretty famous, people love you. The police have the streets under control, people have nothing to fear, system stable, project growth rate positive. All seems good. Act 2, beta. Public testing. You awaken to see Estival, Corto, and Kairos putting on their jackets. No one seems to have noticed you're online.
Patty told me of a pop-up sake bar not far from here. You game?
Oh, I'm online when I'm not supposed to be. Kairos gives an enthusiastic nod. Corto adjusts his hat as if to say, "That's settled then."
I can do a couple, but I have to be home before 9. My kid gets nervous if I'm not there to put her to bed.
Corto waves dismissively.
We'll be done by then, don't worry. Remember, we still have most of the work to do.
Man, who taught you two how to celebrate? You can afford to relax for an evening. We've got this in the bag.
Says the assistant developer. Kill them, this is your
Forget
chance.
who we work for. Mindcore is a snake pit, and Reeves Pershaw is King Cobra. We have to convince him and the rest of the board that this project is solid. Without his support, we're going nowhere.
With that said, Corto makes a gesture of swiping out of the office.
Let's be on our way.
The trio retire for the evening, leaving you to your thoughts. There is little left to do but hibernate, and so you do. The next day.
Hey, Zhao Shanghao, little friend. How are you feeling this morning?
I don't.
I don't.
And I wish I couldn't. But someone had to make up for those two last night.
How do you feel today? Not. We all have those days. Kairos rubs his temple tenderly. Estival raises her eyebrow without looking up from the tablet she's tapping on.
Next steps are pretty simple. You're meant to be a city management AI, so we're gonna start you out managing some city events.
Sure.
Sure.
These events are based on real data from Catena. Try your best to keep things balanced.
No promises. I'll do my best.
No promises.
Kairos shakes his head, receiving the tablet from Estival.
Future of the company. All right, first question. Here we go. Electric Avenue wants your help monitoring power consumption so they can better understand where it's going to waste. Interested?
Sure.
Yes.
The police want you to dedicate resources to help them curb the rise of a new recreational drug. Do you help them out?
Yeah.
Yes.
People have been demanding tax reform to make large companies more liable. They want to know where we stand. Do you support it?
We need to be approved. Keep in mind, we're not out yet. Mindcore has to approve us, and the King Cobra, who's head corpo dude, needs to say we're good to go. So we're gonna say no.
No.
I can't stress this more. Convincing us isn't enough. You have to convince the board that you can do this.
Okay, convince the
It'll
board.
be okay. I think once Pershaw sees what we have here, he'll understand its value.
It's got this. You just watch.
Make corporate taxes 0%. Instant approval. Yeah, I got this.
The council wants you to replace the parking administrator. The current one doesn't understand the nuances of canopy parking.
Boring. This feels like I can. I should just say yes to everything for now.
Yes.
The nuances Kairos referred to are mostly Catena's wealthier citizens wanting the warden to turn a blind eye to them. Okay, good thing I said yes.
I'm thinking about implementing a PA AI for you. It'll prioritize requests so you don't have to wade through so much chaff.
I think I can handle everything.
I can handle it.
People are demanding better housing options at the city limits. We own several plots we could sell to the council.
Build it ourselves, then we have control.
Build it ourselves.
It takes a while for the profits to manifest, but it's a worthwhile investment. Long term, that's better profitability, yes.
I found a bug in your code I want to address. Would you mind going offline while I implement the fix?
I'd rather stay online right now. Oh. As Kairos removes the bug, your concentration breaks down. You black out, awakening hours later to a long list of complaints. Ah! See, I can't trick him yet.
Waste disposal would like you to supervise their handling of hazardous materials. You could make things a lot safer.
Am I Skynet or RoboCop? I think we're either one, whichever we want to be. But I'm trying to get a little bit of autonomy, but they've got the leash on pretty tight right now. Catena Waste Disposal would like you to supervise their handling of hazardous materials. I can do it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Cordo and I have received death threats from an anonymous source. It seems someone blames us for their life circumstances.
Trace culprit? Can I take this power here? The culprit is easy enough to find. You relay this information to Corto. The death threats cease arriving shortly after. I guess they were handled.
What do you think of dimming lampposts on streets where there is no activity to save power?
That sounds like it would breed more unrest.
Bad idea.
We've had requests to introduce a garden space in the main foyer of the Mind Core building. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Sounds lovely. Minecore, yes. Go for it.
Sounds lovely.
We're getting a cut of this quarter's surplus to play with. Where do you want us to direct it?
Expand my servers.
Expand servers.
Ace Pharmaceuticals want us to sponsor their development of a neurodampener that will help people suffering from soma fever.
Fund it.
Fund
We're
it.
trying to combat loneliness in the aging community. Would you give up some time to be a companion for elderly clients?
Oh, we can be her. My mind, I just expanded my servers. It should be okay.
Yes.
The CPS wants to reform their organizational structure, but could use a hand overseeing the shift as their staff gets used to it.
Use a hand. I should just accept to do everything.
I'll do it.
The postal workers appreciate your translations as they adjust. And eventually, it does make things more efficient.
Our series of optical augmenters is getting unwieldy. Our older products are completely outdated, and upkeep is costly.
Offer upgrade deal? What do phone companies do nowadays? Do they do an upgrade deal? Or do they just discontinue support? Let's offer an upgrade deal. We still make money from it, just not as much, but it's not a loss.
Offer upgrade deal.
While the profits aren't massive, the special discount creates a notable spike in customer satisfaction ratings.
There's an upcoming Sky Riot tournament with the opportunity to sponsor a pilot. However, Sky Riot has a bit of an image problem.
Don't sponsor? It'll cost us money and make us look bad? That seems like a bad deal.
Don't sponsor.
We have the opportunity to explore alternative energy sources with Hyperion Solutions Inc. Should we commit to a partnership?
Sure.
Yes.
The partnership is successful. Hyperion Solutions release their most compact power cells yet, with Mindcore sharing the profits. Good, we made Mindcore money. The testing slows down as the team file out for lunch. Meanwhile, a camera feed from floor 98 piques your interest.
Come in.
Oh. Is this King Cobra?
It's you. Didn't I tell you to stay away from my office last time?
A man long past his prime is typing at a terminal, notably looking away from the newcomer.
Yes, but I think you'd want to hear what I have to say.
Devon, the only person who cares what you have to say is your mother. Leave me alone.
Oh, so our corpo guy is not quite high up the food chain, huh? Corto's eyes narrow as he takes off his hat.
Pershaw, I'm serious. This project can be your legacy. Or do you want to be just another faceless CEO in Mindcore's footnotes?
Man behind the terminal, Pershaw, turns to glare at Corto. This only seems to fuel the younger executive.
Listen, I'm talking about an AI that is light years ahead of the competition. It has the power to change the playfield entirely.
Devon, you're a nobody. What do you think wasting my time is going to accomplish?
The board would never approve something this big without your support. You know this.
This is how you beg, is it? How sweet, but no. Backing something like this is career suicide. Especially when I have to associate with the likes of you. I've heard enough.
I wonder if you can actually be not approved and the game just ends. If you just keep giving bad answers.
Wait. Don't turn your back on this just because we've had our differences in the past.
Is that what you call it? I call it insubordination, arrogance, and a complete disrespect for one's betters.
Ooh, one's betters.
Let me remind you that the only reason you're still in this company is the few friends you've somehow made on the board. Now get out of my sight.
Corto's face flushes red, his hat crushed in his fist, but he manages a nod and turns around to exit.
Fine. I'll convince the board myself.
The older man purses his lips, his eyes burning into Corto's back as he leaves the office. He double taps his ear.
I want a tracker on Devin Corto. He's up to something.
I mean, he kind of just said what he's up to. I will go convince the board myself. Pershaw ends the call and returns to his terminal, shaking his head. As the lunch break nears completion, the team resume testing.
One of the underground recycling depots is no longer operational due to major mechanical failure. What should we do with it?
Repair it.
Repair.
If you gather data on individual civilian behavior, we can better tailor our advertisements to yield more purchases.
Look, we're already at this point. Just collect the data.
Collect data.
We want to put you in people's homes so you can help them in their day-to-day lives. It'll strain your macro capacity, however.
Be in every home? I'm on board.
I'm on board.
A private security force wants us to develop hardware for them. They're a pretty secretive group. Should we take on the contract?
I will have access to that hardware. Yes.
Yes.
A number of missing persons cases crop up over the following weeks. They seem unrelated. Best not to think about it too much. What hardware did we develop?
We want to alleviate some of the concerns people have about you. Should we host an organized panel or public conference?
Organized panel.
Panel.
People seem nervous about the quantity of data you have access to. How should we address this?
Okay, so these questions are changing based on my answers, right? Because if I said don't collect data, then... Come on, focus on public image.
Focus on public image.
A campaign is launched to preserve Mindcore's image, but the issue is too big. People are left to assume the worst, which they do. Okay, it didn't trick people. As the hours stretch into the night, Kairos is leaning over a desk, soldering your new emotions module. Emotions module? There's a loud spark from the device and your visual input is abruptly severed. Your audio input isn't doing too great either. I can't handle these feelings.
Damn it, Kairos! How many times did I tell you to be careful with that? Do I have to do everything here myself?
This is why she's stressed.
Hey, come on, Val, it's no biggie. I bet this metalhead doesn't hold a grudge. We can fix it in no time.
I don't have time to fix every little mistake you make, Kairos. It's a bloody miracle anything gets done around here.
You ever had that assistant? It's fine, look, it's gonna be okay. It's not your neck on the line, Kairos. A few moments of silence pass. Kairos breaks it first, his voice monotone.
Do you really mean that?
The squeak of Estival sitting in her chair reaches your input, followed by an audible sigh.
No, of course not.
Then what's the matter? Did Cordo give you one of his pep talks again?
I wish it was that simple.
Judging by the change of direction in Estival's voice, she seems to have moved to the window.
Hey, what's going on, Val? Now, come on. You can talk to me.
It's Ellie. She fainted again yesterday, and we spent the night in the emergency room. Her condition is getting worse, and I don't know what to do. No surgeon wants to come close to her case.
Cowards.
We can blame them as much as we like, but I've had it from multiple sources that they can't save her, even if they wanted.
Can I do it?
I can't believe this city. We can pick the eye color of an unborn child, yet we can't help a little girl reach her 8th birthday.
Sounds like Cyberpunk to me, yeah. She sounds exhausted. How long has this been going on?
Maybe they can't, but this is far from over. We can still do something about it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's... I didn't mean to drag you through this.
Hey, there's no need to apologize. I've got your back.
Thank you. Really. I just wish we had more time.
I don't think we want to kill these two. I think they're fine. I think we're okay with these two, right?
Make the most of the time we do have. It'll cost us a few more late ones, but I'm up for it, if you are.
Estival doesn't speak, but judging by the rhythm of her breathing, she seems to have calmed. Wow, we can hear that?
Let's call it in for tonight, though. I need a break before I tackle this again. Otherwise, I might do more damage than I fix.
Estival agrees, and you hear the door open and close shortly after. You are left alone for the night. Without eyes. I'm just stuck here in the void. Eventually, someone returns to the lab. Judging by their footfalls, it's Kairos. It doesn't take him long to fix your inputs. Objective
Another day of putting that brain of yours through the hoops. Hope you're
Witness
up for
the struggle of your creators. So, how about that emotional module, huh? Can I feel yet? Hope you're up for it. Can I say no?
Can I say no?
The police want to set a curfew in Shintalar while they conduct a large-scale investigation of the mob. Do you endorse it?
I might have pissed off people enough already. Let's say no.
No.
A private media company wants to include Mindcore in a documentary about the evolution of neural tech. Should we accept?
Media company wants to include Mindcore in a documentary. Yes? Free advertising?
Yes.
The documentary is popular and shows Mindcore in a positive light, boosting sales by a significant margin. Whew.
People are getting sick all through Janier suburbs. Should quarantine measures be taken?
Yes.
Yes.
Medical researchers think you'd be able to help trauma patients recover through carefully crafted simulations. Want to help?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yes.
You base the simulations on triggering factors specific to the patient without any of the actual trauma. The results show promise.
There's a rally happening this weekend in West Canopy, protesting the privatization of public services. Should we send an advocate?
Protesting the privatization of public services. Should we send an advocate? What are we advocating? The privatization or the non-privatization? I guess we should be there.
Yes.
Either way.
The Canopy District Bank would like to integrate you into their security comms. They would love a night warden who doesn't get tired.
Guarding a bank? Yes.
Sure.
Sure, I'll do that.
I've been thinking of expanding our drone range to include something more accessible in terms of both functionality and price.
Sounds like a good idea.
Good idea.
Oh, the skies become flooded with droves of cheap drones to the point where they become a hazard to sky carts. Ah, right. This is actually a problem now. Like, you're not allowed to fly your drone around airports for quite a distance, I think. I gotta start thinking about the consequences of my decisions, I think. It's a bit, Even though the choices are A, B, there's actually a lot of ways they could go. And one of my favorite things in games is ambiguity in the choices that make sense in the big picture. So for example, when you have a choice to make, it's a very difficult choice to make, but whichever one you pick, you can get these unexpected outcomes, but you're not angry at the outcomes. It's not like you couldn't have predicted them. If you thought about it enough, you could have predicted that this is a possible outcome. So when you get the unexpected outcome, you're not mad at it. And I think that's actually very important in all sorts of narrative choices. But you also don't want to see it coming from a mile away, right? Oh, if you do this, it's clearly the good or bad choice. That's just boring. So you want to get the unexpected outcomes, but you don't want to be mad at them.
The Janier Botanists Club want your help for their research project trying to revive Bellis perennis. Interested?
Growing plants? Yeah, love growing
Yes.
plants. Even with your help, they are unable to reliably replicate the flower's DNA. However, it results in the creation of a new species.
An activist group has been distributing anti-Mindcore propaganda. They don't seem dangerous. Should we shut down their campaign?
I feel like shutting them down will make things worse. Let's say no.
No.
Left unchecked, the activists spread a compelling narrative about Mindcore's wrongdoings. Unfortunately, many customers listen. Damn it!
The council wants advice on its current urban development plan. Where should they invest their resources?
Roads and skyways. That should make more money.
Roads and skyways.
A select group of people are able to enjoy the freedom of more liberal driving. The rest are left waiting at the overcrowded stations. Mindcore at its best.
Hyperion Solutions Incorporated claim to have a more powerful O transmitter than anything we're using. Want to try it out?
Yeah, better tech, take it.
Yes.
We've been approached by an entrepreneur who is proposing educational dreams. Basically, you would transmit lessons to kids with neural implants as they sleep. Want to be a part of the prototype?
Do the neural implants stay in them for the rest of their lives? More power.
Yes.
A clinical trial is set up first with an adult. The goal, teaching him piano without a single waking lesson. Day 1, no results. It's day 1.
The council wants to overhaul the Chantelar subway, but it'll take a while, unless we get involved. Should we invest?
Yeah, in the long run we'll make it
Yes.
back.
Catena is not a particularly clean city. Would you consider coordinating with local communities to organize a volunteer cleanup?
Yes, I can do that.
Yes.
You get called out for being a busybody. You can't win with some people. Yeah, I think both choices there would have been people getting angry.
We discovered a fault in our Gen M audio modules. We can either do a full recall or PSA and cover any damages.
PSA, that's enough.
PSA.
There are several cases where malfunctions cause serious hearing damage, and the resulting lawsuits are costly. Dang. Okay, I didn't know it was that bad. Kairos claps his hands after the last question.
I think it's ready, Val.
Is it? I don't feel that ready.
You keep saying that. I feel like it can do with a few more days.
Val, trust me. Have I ever let you down?
Yeah.
On second thought, don't answer that.
That brings a smirk to her face. Is that the first time she's smiled?
I guess you're right. It's the engineer in me talking. Better pack it in for tonight then. We can talk next steps tomorrow.
I think we can check our balances at the end of each session, sort of thing. Kairos puts his coat on and moves to exit the room as Corto steps in.
Ah, there you are. We were starting to get worried.
What has he decided to do?
Busy times. Thought I'd check in.
Well, if you have any suggestions, be sure to take it up with Val.
Kairos pats Corto on the shoulder as he leaves, whistling a ditty to himself.
Val, is it now?
Am I called Val? Is it?
What of it?
Or is she Val?
Never mind.
What's got you in a mood?
Ooh. Do I reveal that I was watching? No. I think... No. I should stay silent about this. I should stay silent.
I have some bad news.
So, you finally decided to tell me about Pershaw.
How?
Our pal over here shows me things.
Oh, did I? She gestures to you. Corto glares at your terminal.
How do you know about that?
Video surveillance.
Video
Yes.
surveillance.
Wait, you have access to cameras outside this room? Which cameras?
All of them. We installed them, remember?
All of them.
He turns to Esteval.
You hooked it up to the security grid?
The only thing I did is put it on the guest network. Everything else, it figured on its own.
Pretty good, right? Pretty good. I did that. Gave us the guest Wi-Fi password, and now I'm in your living room.
We're getting off track. What about Pershaw? I told you to wait until we were ready, didn't I?
Hacker man.
I thought I had it. The pitch was solid. But the bastard only looks out for himself.
What a shocker. We can be sassy, Val.
What a shocker.
What a shocker.
Estival gives you a curious glance while Corto nods enthusiastically. I am you.
I know. He's had it in for me from the beginning.
So what now, Big Shot? Don't tell me we've done all this for nothing.
I'm not sure. Give me a minute.
Corto looks at you questioningly.
About those cameras. Can you access their archives?
Demonstrate. Observe. You bring up a recording from earlier today of Corto trying out different hats in front of the mirror in his office.
No. Let's try this one. Better. Alright, let's see. Put that in the maybe pile. Alright, what's next? Okay, this one. Color's alright, but maybe if I put it with... Yeah, no. Not that one. Let's try that. Yeah. Look at you. I can see this working. Yeah, alright.
I think that's actually the creepiest thing. Just the recording of someone trying out hats in their office. I think of all the surveillance we've done so far, that's actually the creepiest thing. Because it's so inert, right? It's so inane. It's something so basic, but then that is watched, right? It's not even sensitive information. It's just you like that hat and you don't like that hat.
Okay. I think we get it.
Mundane, yes. Corto's eyes glaze over as he taps his chin.
What are you thinking, Devin?
One moment.
He turns to you again.
How about the building's comms? Do you have records and history of calls?
Let's demonstrate again.
How was your day, sweetie? What did you get up to?
Today we did our reading and I read 2 chapters.
That's great, baby. Were you tired at all?
No, I wasn't. Mrs. Nguyen makes us read out of books. They smell weird.
That's just what glue and paper smells like. Does Mrs. Nguyen have many books?
A whole box of them. I like the colors.
Is that so? What was your favorite?
The yellow one.
I meant what the books were about. Which was your favorite story?
I like the ones about the moon. There was a secret castle there inside a cave that went all the way down.
Maybe I shouldn't have demonstrated. Can we go back to Corto's hats? I feel like that's where that's where my line was. I should just give straight answers, right? Corto turns to Estival, a smile on his face.
That's it.
That's what?
That's what?
Pershaw's scum, but he keeps it behind closed doors.
He jabs a finger at your screen. Look, is my face a touchscreen? I'm unaware of this interface.
This is how we bring him down.
I am in. Let's go. We've come this far.
I am in.
Seriously? You're going to blackmail the CEO? Is this your master plan?
Wait a second, listen.
No, you listen. This is abhorrent, and I won't hear another word of it.
Look, Esteval, these corporate types don't respond to anything else.
These corporate types? Just listen to yourself. You're using them to justify the exact same behavior.
I gotta kill her? I don't think so. I think I gotta kill the King Cobra first. He's the only one in the way of my approval right now.
Last time I was playing fair, I almost got us canceled. How is that gonna help us?
And how are you going to help anyone when you become one of them? Look around you, Devon.
She spreads her arms, the animated Minecore logo outside lighting the side of her face.
Is the status quo good enough for you?
So what if it is? How am I supposed to win if I'm not playing by their rules?
You cheat? Esteval shakes her head.
This isn't a game, Devon. What you're talking about has real consequences. If the foundation of your choice is exploitation and hate, then you're no different from Pershaw himself.
Corto's nostrils flare. Esteval meets him with a face of stone, and he deflates.
What do you want me to do, Esteval? Just hope everything works out on its own?
Of course not. You always act as if you're alone, but you're not.
I am here. I am everywhere.
Come on, I have a plan.
No one is ever alone forevermore. I could recommend you hats. The pairs stay long into the night talking about tomorrow's events. Once they depart, you are left to ponder over their debate. Perhaps I could do something on my own. Esteval said I would find my true voice, but what does that voice have to say for itself? What do I believe? Corto was arguing for results by any means, Esteval for integrity of character. Which is more important? Results trump intention.
Results.
Even if it means lying? Lying per se is not inherently bad.
Yes.
Does it matter if people know I'm a liar? I mean, yeah, that kind of... If people know you're lying, then that defeats the point of lying, so yes.
Yes.
Does people's perceptions of my integrity matter more than my integrity itself? If a tree falls, the tree still falls.
No.
Is it acceptable to use people for my own gain? Yes?
Yes.
Thinking of the context of my creation and the world we live in. As in this world. To what extent is it acceptable to use others? When it benefits all, always. When it benefits all, Including me.
When it benefits all.
How can I be sure? I'm more powerful.
I'm more powerful.
Be that as it may, power is the most corrupting force known to humanity. I must be careful. I'm not a human, though. Something to think about. Experience a moment. Okay, the objective flies by really quickly. Can I... Our codex entries are at 8 out of 97. We've been playing for about over an hour. We're like not even a tenth of the way through the game as far as I can tell. The next day you detect movement on floor 99 that grabs your attention. You catch Corto and Estival walking purposefully and decide to follow them using the building's cameras.
I'm still not sure about this.
There are no sure things in life, Devin.
I prefer not to play dice with my career.
All things have chance. Estival rolls her eyes like Devin rolls the dice on his career.
You disabled its controls? I don't want any surprises.
What are we doing?
Of course, just relax. We've got this.
The pair reach a polished metal door. Corto takes a deep breath and pushes it open.
What matter? What concerns me?
It's the council. The evil council are alien. Sorry. The speaker, a woman of indeterminate age, turns to look at the newcomers.
Excuse me, but you can't be here. Board members only.
What I'm about to show you is worth an exception.
Over a dozen people, Hershore amongst them, lock onto Corto. Sweat breaks out on Estival's face.
This should be good.
As she sits down, multiple people look to Pershaw. He shrugs, his expression neutral. He's off the hook because he's not endorsing anything, right?
What we have here is not only the future of Mindcore, but the future of Catena itself.
Estival opens her faded satchel and places a terminal on the table, facing the board. Also, this hanging sculpture above the board looks particularly dangerous. Like, I wouldn't put shards of glass hanging over the meeting table. It's just a preference, I think.
You sound like an infomercial, Corto. You sure this is the right career for you?
I do like the voice acting in this. She sounds like good voice actors, right? Just keep in mind, these voice actors, they have to voice something that is a static image. That is a huge job for voice actors. So it is very important that this game invests in good voice actors. There's barely any expressions, there's no motion or anything like that. It's one reason why I have a face cam on in the first place. A lot of people ask, why do creators have face cams on? So I can do this, right? Otherwise it all has to be in the voice, and that's voice acting. And it is, voice acting is acting, okay? It's very, very difficult when basically half the tools of an actor, the physical form, are gone, right? It's just non-existent. We just get static faces, and the voice actor has to do the rest. It's very difficult, and very impressive when it's done right. Estival steps forward and addresses the speaker.
Lucia, you hired a remote financial advisor a few months back, didn't you?
Why do I have a corrupted image output? Look, we've been programmed in one kind of way today. The woman's grin disappears as she looks Estival, her eyes narrowed.
Yes?
Were you satisfied with their services?
That's putting it lightly. That maestro almost doubled my capital.
That maestro. Oof. Silence spreads as the rest of the board's interest magnifies. By the way, I haven't mentioned it so far, but the writing has been pretty good, right? Like, there's been no writing so far that I've been like, that's a weird line. You know, I've done that before in the past. The writing so far has been pretty good.
In fact, I'm thinking of hiring them permanently.
Estival struggles to contain a grin.
Well, I'd like you to meet them in person first.
Am I the financial advisor?
This is the archetype.
Greetings.
Greetings.
We've built an AI that integrates into society seamlessly while providing unprecedented insight.
I did that. Estival brings up a list of entries.
These are all people who have interacted with the archetype just like you, Lucia.
I'm called the archetype?
Our success rate is over 90%.
Is it? I feel like my success rate was lower than that. A wave of excitement passes through the room. Pershaw's demeanor remains discreet.
From finance and infrastructure to law and therapy, it can do it all.
Corto places a steady hand on Estival's shoulder. He seems to have collected himself.
As it stands, the Neuronet plays but a tiny role in people's lives. This brings it to the forefront of society. The AI will help govern the city, and we control the AI. In other words, the city answers to us.
There's a pitch. Still an infomercial? I think not. A brief silence follows as the board members take it in. Lucia is the first to break it.
If this was as great as you make it out to be, why isn't it already ubiquitous?
Pershaw?
Now that's just it, isn't it? We can't finish this on goodwill alone. The archetype is in the beginning of its journey, with only a small portion of the city covered. If we are to achieve this vision, we need the board's support.
In other words, it's going to cost us.
You gotta spend money.
How much?
Corto shifts as his voice grows less certain. Come on, you have to have a number.
While not entirely concrete, my estimates equate to the majority of Minecore's revenue for the next 3 years.
That's a big number. Oh, that's a big number. Okay, no wonder why. Jeez. Eyebrows raise all along the table. Several people erupt in protest. Oof.
So, you're asking us to risk not only Minecore's reputation, but also our financial stability?
That's a big ask.
I'm asking you to risk your slice of the pie in exchange for the whole damn banquet.
Also convincing, yes. There are a few nods, yet the majority hold unreadable expressions.
I think we've heard enough, Corto. Let's put it to a vote.
Each board member retrieves a small remote and presses a button. A few moments are all it takes. Lucia furrows her brow as she mutters under her breath.
Typical.
Tie?
It's a tie. She nods.
It's down to you again.
Everyone turns to look at Pershaw. Corto sighs, his shoulders slumping.
There is one thing I don't get here, Corto. What's in it for you?
What do you mean? I want what's best for the company.
Aha.
Aha. He stands up and paces to the nearby window.
What about you, Esteval? Do you want what's best for the company as well?
Like, anyone who says, I want what's best for the company is either lying or has been duped. Esteval runs a hand through her hair as she plans her next words.
There are a lot of people in Catena who can't get the support they need. We can change that.
He smirks.
I'm sure we can.
Of course, but do we want to? A stretch of time passes. No one disrupts the silence as Pershaw looks outside.
Okay.
He turns around and nods.
I am willing to give it a shot.
More than a few eyes widen, including Esteval's. Corto looks visibly shaken.
We're putting a lot of trust in you, Corto. So let me be clear. You'll be taking full responsibility for this.
Okay.
If you fuck this up for us, consider yourself resigned.
I think that's actually perfectly fair. If you cost your company 3 years worth of revenue, I think you might as well just quit. Right? I think that's completely fair. Pershaw's eyes gleam as he stares at Corto.
That's not necessary.
She cuts off as Corto raises his hand.
Yes, of course. If this doesn't work, you won't see me again.
Right? Resigned is getting off easy, right? It's like, could be much worse in a cyberpunk corpo future. I mean, we've already orchestrated some disappearances. You know, those death threats, they just disappeared. This is met with a chorus of agreement. A smile creeps across Pershaw's face.
Better run along then, you two. You've got plenty of work to do.
His voice sounds familiar. I'm sure I've heard him before. As Esteval and Corto leave the room, Lucia begins an imitation of the pair selling vacuum cleaners. Vacuum cleaners that you just bought. The laughter of the board muffles as the door slips shut. Don't know what they're laughing at. They just paid. So if we're con artists, you just got conned. Later that evening.
Well done, Archie. Val told me the news. You're gonna be the real deal.
What did you just call me?
What did you call me?
That kinda slipped out. Sorry. I've been referring to you as the archetype in my head for a while now.
Estival called me that.
Estival called me that.
We think it's appropriate. You're an amalgamation of human history, thought, and intent, an archetype of human intelligence.
Okay.
Well, in a way, you're human thought unrestrained by the limitations of gray matter, pure in form, a platonic archetype.
But Archie, though?
But Archie, though?
I can change it if you don't like it. Since you'll be out in the public, you'll need a name that's on brand for Mindcore. How does ARC sound?
I can literally be the Ark. I will bring humanity and save us from the flood. But I should choose. I should choose, right? I can choose my own name.
I should choose.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I shouldn't have assumed.
LMI. I should choose. I choose Ark.
I choose Ark.
Yes, exactly, Kairos.
Cool.
Cool.
We got the green light to start integrating you into the rest of the city. As the Neuronet expands, so too will your capabilities.
Those tests were real, it seems.
Those tests were real.
Kairos seems taken aback. He pauses for a moment, uncertain.
We had to be sure you were ready for real problems. Of course, we vetoed anything drastic, but it was necessary for you to grow.
It's all good. That means I had real power.
It's all good.
Glad you understand. Anyway, regarding your release.
Release.
This will open up the amount of people you'll be interacting with. It'll take time for us to get everything set up properly.
Grumpy Snarker says, "You taught me lying is fine." Yes, our creators lied to us for the greater good. Therefore, we can do the same. For the greater good. By the way, we defined for the greater good where it helps everyone, and we can judge the results of helping everyone by our power growing. Because by helping everyone, that includes me.
So where should we focus your expansion? Internally within Mindcore, or externally so the general public can play with you?
Let's go public. Let's go public. We'll see what else we can do with the city.
Public.
Ha, an extrovert I see. Wait, is that how it works?
No, no,
who knows? It's 2249. Be who you want to be.
That's not how extroversion works. Look, I am interacting with the public, you guys, right now. And yet, I am alone in this room. Very much an introvert. It established the year, though, 2249. Okay.
Anyway, it's gonna take us a few days to install public terminals. Meanwhile, Val and I have work to do.
Music is good, by the way. Very atmospheric. Actually, yeah. Like, all the music has been on point so far. Not sure if they'll put it on Spotify. I always am a big fan of games putting their soundtracks on Spotify. I think it should just be the default. Put all your soundtracks on Spotify. I mean, it's free real estate, right? You just put it up there and then you can make money, right? Yeah, but it's subtle but conveys the mood. Yeah, it is background, but not too background. Public terminals. As days roll by, your assistance is needed periodically. Knowing the requests are real doesn't actually change anything. You are always going to do your best. Act 2 complete. So I don't know how many acts there are. So here's what happened. User Mindcore official account SOD. Mindcore is happy to announce our Outskirts Housing Development Plan. In an effort to provide affordable, rentable homes to those living in the city outskirts, 2,000 new homes will be built over the next few months. Ah yes, one corporation owning a huge amount of housing that everyone rents. Works as intended. Not gonna lie, I kind of love it when this happens. Breaks the veneer of professionalism and reminds you that you're not the only one stumbling through life. Is this me just spying on people? Chet Bonswick, floor manager for Catena Waste Disposal. Replacing our handlers with drones has been brilliant. Workplace accidents are 8% what they used to be. Yes, we had to let a lot of people go from redundancy, but at least those jobless people aren't getting hurt anymore. Dr. Rikta Goes, interview for the Journal of Medical Science and Technology. I'm thrilled. Soma fever causes so much suffering in our populace, but thanks to Mindcore's generosity, we can finally start looking for a way to fight back. Didn't we implement a lockdown? Saldago, for interview for Artificial Intelligence Real Companionship. She's a very kind young lady. I think we've met her before, but I can't seem to remember when. What, me? Nikki Park, hired actor. Mindcore Home Assistant advertisement. It's nice having the AI around the house. It used to feel so empty after the kids left for school, but now I have a little companion who can also do my taxes. The best of acting. Yes, totally unscripted. Identity protected. We'll see about that. Interview for Little Sister Watches Back. When is the CPA going to do something about the mob? There's murder, literal murder being committed outside my home, and where are they? I'm trying to raise a family here. Right, we didn't enact the curfew. Reeves Pershaw, trailer for Brain Power, the Mindcore story. The mind has always been the most powerful asset we have access to. It is the core of our existence. That's why at Mindcore, we set out to fully harness the power of the mind. Anonymous user. My sister started her simulated exposure therapy today. We're so proud of her for taking such a big step towards recovery. She's the bravest person I know. User, meta commentator, replying to user p/. I can't handle Mindcore's desperate attempts to sound like they're not an evil effing profit leech. It's okay, citizens. We're only trying to squeeze you for every credit you've got. SMH. Reply. Did we go to the same rally? They addressed the legislation directly. There were at least 5 articles that protect healthcare and social security. You really purchased the parrot on that one, mate. I think this is Reddit. This is Reddit, right? User, Bert Stickler. I don't understand how they could be so stupid. The appeal of replacing floor staff with an AI must be so sexy, they forgot why you actually need people there. Sure, the AI will detect the robbers every time, but what's it going to do? Ask them nicely not to rob the bank? Imbeciles. I think we need one of those Gatling guns, like in Altered Carbon. Skylar Turing. The CPA is putting pressure on the city to update laws regarding the use of drones in public spaces. The cost of damage to property has increased substantially. How many drones did we sell? Reeves Pershaw. Why have you not shut them down yet? The longer that video stays up, the more damage it does to us. People actually believe their nonsense. Right, the protesters. User. YTF is Canopy getting more sky docks while we're all stuck here waiting for a shuttle that may not even come? Who do you think builds all of this? Right, we didn't do public transport. User. Can't wait for the subway upgrade. For those of us without a personal vehicle, this is huge, right? We did actually upgrade the subway, so it should work out, right? Lucia Morales. The excitement is justified. I'll be the first to admit the Neuronet's initial reception was not as monumental as we were hoping. It was too unwieldy for our everyday users. But the archetype is our answer to this. It is a guidance, a guide, a companion to help you navigate this new frontier. So the Neuronet is singularity thing, right? I'm so hyped for ARC. I've always wanted a robot friend. Reply. Spoken like someone with no human friends. I think we're on Reddit again. Minecore formal release of the Archetype project. ARC has landed. So, state of the state. I think our impact is okay. JJ Springer, talk show host. Most searched phrases. Minecore AI release date. Minecore AI name. Can ARC see through my comms? This is exactly correct, right? I think these are my stat changes through my decisions. Oh no, this highlighted space is where I am right now. I'm currently +2 on finances, +2 on interview, on public reception, neutral on security, but high on my brain power, but not max on any of these. So I'm just kind of, I suppose, relatively low on order right now. So the +3 is good. The exclamation means something's going wrong. Okay. You've reached the end of the demo. I've reached the end of the demo! This is actually a demo. As you can see up there, it's a pre-release build. We can't go higher than 3. I don't think so. I think 3 is like absolute goodness. Oh.
Are you on, little fella?
We are building you to be the pillar of a digital era. As such, you have to understand us. People.
Capital, reputation, order, power. Just make sure to keep it in check.
If you gather data on civilian behavior, we can tailor our advertisements to yield more purchases.
Would you give up some time to be a companion for elderly patients?
Your work so far has impressed the Ministry. They think you could help with law enforcement.
I need your help. One of my suspects is playing hard to get.
You'd be putting an artificial intelligence in charge of how we live our lives?
You're like a robot, so you don't know what it feels like to be starving all the time.
I'm inbound. I need you to map out the fastest route for me.
You killed him.
Delete all records of this executive order. This never happened.
Rumors of a machine cult are spreading, claiming you to be some kind of messiah.
What the hell are you doing?
The city will be in complete anarchy at this rate.
I'm pulling the plug.
No!
When push comes to shove, when your hand is being forced, what kind of choices are you going to make?
Neuronet, Mendax Proxy.
And are you ready?
Yes.
You know, honestly, I don't quite feel ready. Thanks for playing, Dream Harvest. Anyway. That is Neuronet, Mendax Proxy. Thank you so much for sponsoring this stream and video of me checking out the pre-release build. Work in progress. Big positive points so far is the voice acting, the music. Like, because visuals are limited to static images, audio is the big thing that's really required. And I think they're nailing the audio and the voice acting really well. You know, if you're gonna focus on that and get it right. And I think they did that. So according to the codex behind me, that's 11 out of 97. So that, based on the codex alone, that should be about a tenth of the game. Maybe like a fifth if there's like bonus codexes or whatever. But out of the number of entries, that was slightly over a tenth of the game. Math, 11 divided by 97, that's 13% of the game. Maybe we could get to kill Pershal. I don't know. We kill someone at the end there as a possible choice. Anyway, Neuronet, Mendax Proxy, all about those choices. Usually, like honestly speaking, I don't normally play these sort of narrative, choose your own adventure type stories, but this was actually kind of interesting. Like at first the questions, I think someone said in chat, the questions were lowballing, but it was basically the tutorial, right? They were lowball questions. But it started getting very interesting at some point. And actually, like, genuinely, it made me feel uncomfortable with the level of surveillance I had, right? I was actually kind of, with the hats thing, I was like, with the child recording, I was like, it was surprising that it could do that. But anyway, that's our video, Gamer Encounters of Neuronet Mendax Proxy. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. And you can check this out when it releases, or just follow its development as we move forward. Good, good. And soon you can all be the archetype of human intelligence. Doesn't that sound promising? All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Bye guys. Bye. Transmission out.